green tea. So as you guys can see, I've got a different setup here for these news videos that I'm going to start doing. Rather than having the big clunky TV screen next to me that you guys can hardly see, I'm going to record it on this camera here, but then I'm also going to screen capture my laptop of the articles that I'm talking about when I'm talking about them, so that in post-production, what I can do is jump between me talking at you guys and the screen capture of the articles so you can see it so much more clearly. I think it'll help my workflow and make things look so much prettier. And it's just going to make it so much more easier. I mean, look, if I want to plug my Patreon, I can say, hey, go to my Patreon. I can make it show up. And I can say, hey, go check out some of my shirts on my online store. It's just going to make things so much easier from now on. So let's go ahead and roll that intro, and I want to share with you what I found today. So, of course, the first news story that we have to talk about is former First Lady Barbara Bush dying at the age of 92. A lot of people have been asking me about this, and of course, on one hand, I have compassion for every living being out there, but on the other hand, let's be real, guys. The Bush family, have they exactly been a positive, loving family helping humanity out? Not necessarily. So can we really be all that upset that Barbara Bush is now gone? I mean, I'd imagine her soul is on its way to the galactic central sun right now, waiting for judgment. But then what was really interesting in that the official statement from the White House today on Barbara Bush's death had a mistake in it, and it was a very poignant mistake. It was right there, but it was something really interesting about it. Now, the statement and the tweet that Donald Trump made about it has recently been deleted, but I have a screen capture of it that I put up. I'm going to reference my Facebook page right here for it. And you can see right here, it says, Melania and I join the nation in celebrating the life of Barbara Bush. But look at this right here. In this official statement, what do you notice that's wrong? You know what's wrong? The date. It says April 17th, 2017. Now, the crazy thing was that this was up for a couple of hours. It was at least up for a couple of hours on Trump's Twitter. And here's my thoughts on that. I mean, that is not a mistake the White House would make, right? They have people double, triple, quadruple checking, whatever comes after quadruple checking what goes out of the White House. So would that mistake really have been made? And on that same note, that thing was up for hours. So you think even if they would have made that mistake, that it would have been taken down really quick. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, what are they really trying to tell us by putting April 17th, 2017 on there? Well, on one hand, you could say, did Barbara Bush even die today? Maybe she died actually a year ago, and that's a subtle way of telling us. Maybe. But on the other hand, look at the number. 17. In fact, we have two 17s on there. April 17, 17. And how many times have we seen that number, 17, lately? It's been a very synchronistic number, if you will. I mean, Donald Trump had multiple jerseys given to him by championship sports teams that had the number 17 on it, which was very peculiar because in previous presidencies, whenever they received jerseys, they typically got the number of their presidency, so 42, 43, 44, and whatnot. So assuming this, Trump should have gotten 45, but he got 17, and he got 17 twice. I believe it was the Astros and then the winners of the NCAA tournament both gave him jerseys with the number 17. And not only that, but Vice President Mike Pence, I mean, on this picture he reposted on his Twitter the other day, it had the number 17 right there on the side of the ship on the USS Indianapolis. Very interesting picture to put up. So there's just a lot of 17s coming out. And of course, what is the 17th letter of the alphabet? It's Q. Q is the 17th letter of the alphabet. So for that official statement to have 17 right there, it's almost like it was a message. It was another confirmation. I mean, how many hints do we need? And I guess the answer to that is as many as it takes. as many as it takes to wake people up and get them to see that there's some serious stuff going on. And I will make a note, since Trump did post this official statement, it has been taken down, like I said, a few hours after it was put up, and it was taken down with the date completely removed. It didn't even put today's date on it. So, hey, a lot of eyes on that. But again, guys, there are no coincidences. There are no mistakes at that level. Everything has a meaning. And speaking of all this, let's get into talking about some of the recent Q drops. So I'm going to begin right here from earlier today. I'm not really going to go past that, as that would take me too long. But right here, April 17th, we have RR, Rod Rosenstein. Boom. Of course, Q has been saying that RR is going to have some big problems very soon, and we're seeing that come out through the mainstream media, people calling for his impeachment, Rod Rosenstein's impeachment. Then this next one right here, boom, 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 some more booms, Q says, and there's some more clarification right up here in a post that we'll discuss in a sec. This one says rays of light. Of course, FBI Director Wray. Q keeps telling us to trust Wray. So pun right there, rays of light. And then right up here is where we get more clarification on the booms. So Q says we are being set up, threat. Past booms meant Texas bombs. New booms mean plane crash and plane 17 drop. I'll show you a couple articles that are going to add clarity on that. These people are sick. They're attempting to prevent drops and prevent the awakening. Quite obvious. And they're going to, ridiculous means to do that. Conspiracy, coincidence, response forthcoming. And this is apparently the response. It's strike package 111V-B, whatever that means. I've seen some people say a strike package is in regards to a military operation where they have, say, different planes that all have different capabilities going to strike a target. It's a package because they have different, whether it's planes or ships or different things with different capabilities to strike the target. So this looks like an operation in play, a strike package, a retaliation, if you will, and then 111VB. Not sure what that means. I've seen a few speculations as to a specific wing of the military or a specific operation, maybe a detail about the operation. Who knows? I don't for sure. But let's talk about the plane crashes, some of those incidents. What do the new booms exactly mean? So right here, one of those booms, look at this, smoke and fumes inside a C-130 aircraft. This particular plane being a military one. We also had an incident with a civilian plane that we'll talk about in a sec. But this one in a C-130 Hercules sends 17 Delaware guardsmen to the hospital. There's that number again, 17. So I wonder if this was a purposeful incident, a false flag, if you will, and that 17 was thrown out there to send a message, maybe send a message from the deep state to the alliance. Subtly right there with 17. But again, how many military craft have we had issues with over the past few weeks? This makes many now, 6, 7, 8. We've had crashes of helicopters and jets, and now another issue with the C-130. I mean, this is getting, this covert civil war, this shadow civil war is sure going overt. It's sure going public. And that's pretty obvious, getting more obvious by the day. And then we have this one here, the civilian issue. A woman partially sucked out of jet when window breaks mid-flight. Plane makes emergency landing in Philadelphia. So a woman died, and this woman was actually identified as a VP of Wells Fargo, interestingly enough. But she died when she was... some reports are saying sucked out. Some reports are just saying that she wasn't sucked out. Right here it says you hear the pop and she was sucked out from the waist up. And it says there was blood on the windows. Her arms were actually out of the plane and her head was out of the airplane. And people were saying there was blood everywhere and it was really gory. And you would expect this incident to be very gory if, a plane engine is going to explode right next to you when you're in the air and the window goes off and you get sucked out. Yeah. It's going to be pretty gory, but look at these pictures. Look at that picture. What looks odd about that? I don't see any blood, do you? I don't see any gore. I don't know. I'm getting a weird feeling about this one. Again, I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm not saying it was a hoax per se, but I'm just saying, well, I want some more details as to what occurred. Why aren't we seeing any actual blood if they claim it was so gory? So I wonder. But that's pretty much everything I wanted to mention in regards to Q. Let's move on to a few of the other articles that I want to talk to you about. This one coming out of the dailymail.co.uk, which is a mainstream site. Interesting. So I wonder what the angle they're trying to take. Whether they're it's for a nefarious or benevolent agenda, whether they're trying to actually wake us up or put a little bit of truth with disinfo out into the public domain. But right here it says, Nazi super sub rumored to have smuggled Hitler to South America at the end of World War II is discovered at the bottom of the sea, 10 miles north of Denmark. So this right here saying, the sub that was supposedly to smuggle Hitler was found. Rumored, they say rumored, but then they say the sub has been found. It's as if they're confirming their own rumor in that statement right there and then giving a bunch of information about it right here, even saying U.S. intelligence documents in the 1950s led rumors Hitler fled to South America. Wow. I mean, are they actually rumors if U.S. intelligence docs basically confirm or prove it? So you see what I'm saying? I wonder what angle they're taking. But amazingly, we're getting some information come out into the mainstream about some more truthful events that occurred around World War II. Because like I've said, understanding World War II, true occurrences, true history about that, sheds a whole new light on things. I mean, learning the true history about everything sheds a new light on things, but especially World War II, and understanding that Hitler faked his own death, fled to South America. The Nazis had very strong presence in South America and Antarctica. And then, of course, there's a lot more to that story. But there you go. Hitler's sub found off Denmark. The Washington Post right here talking about Sean Hannity. Of course, Sean Hannity was shown to be one of Trump's lawyer's contacts. His name essentially forced out into the public as one of Trump's lawyer's contacts. And Washington Post trying to run one of their hit pieces, because we all love Washington Post, right? They're saying Hannity's rising role in Trump's world, he basically has a desk in the place. And they're saying that Sean Hannity and Trump talk all the time. Hannity even gets hints as to upcoming news stories. And they, of course, exaggerate. He basically has a desk at the place. Well, if we're going to be real about this, yeah, I would expect him to be getting a lot of intel from the administration. How would he be able to report on certain things and say some of the certain things he has said? Not only Sean Hannity, but other outlets as well, like the Daily Caller, the Washington Examiner, Fox News. There's certain outlets that are seeming to get leaked info to put out. So yes, I would imagine Hannity does have a back door or a back channel, if you will, into the Trump administration, and I ain't mad about that. Let's get disclosure rolling, guys. And if it's through Hannity, hey, it's through Hannity. I'm all for him doing that. But of course, there's a lot more we're waiting to come out through the mainstream. This one right here on Bloomberg, I found today, 5:55 a.m. There you go for the synchronicity. I've been seeing a lot of those lately, especially numerical. But anyway, drug made from cannabis plant gets backing from FDA staff. So check it out. An experimental medication that could become the first drug derived from a marijuana plant approved in the U.S. received a boost from the FDA. So, I mean, apparently they don't want you just taking CBD tinctures. They want you taking their CBD tinctures. They don't want you using marijuana. They want you using their marijuana. Of course, you know Big Pharma, their modus operandi, their MO is to simply patent genes, patent life, and then they can do what they want with it, creating hybrid strains, creating whatever they try to sell to us that are traits manufactured into the strains. Oh, this will grow better, grow bigger, be drought resistant, whatever the case is, be prettier, be shinier apples, greener weed, more purple on it, right? Don't trust it, and I don't trust anything coming out of the FDA, especially in regards to this. I'll take my normal CBD tinctures. Thank you very much. And then also out of Bloomberg, they're talking about fake videos yet again. And check this one out. It says, headline, a viral video that appeared to show Obama calling Trump a dipshit shows a disturbing new trend called deepfakes. Deepfakes. It's almost like a play on deep state that they're trying to put out there, almost to discredit or make fun of it or ridicule it, if you will. And this video, this viral video, was viral because BuzzFeed made it. So BuzzFeed published a video that appeared to show Barack Obama cursing and calling Trump names, but revealed the clip was actually fabricated using emergent video editing technology. So BuzzFeed made this video. They teamed up with an editor and got some of their people to make it. They claimed, it took us about 60 hours to make, and we used a professional video editor. And look, the good news is it requires a decent amount of skill and time to create a really good deep fake, but unfortunately this technology is already being used by non-experts for nefarious purposes, including, of course, they're putting out some possibilities out there, but all this is for plausible deniability of videos to be released of the politicians, of the corrupt elite themselves. And then, they can go and call it fake, call it used by AI, because look at what we've been warning the public about. Look at what we've been saying. You can already see the psychological operation in play with it right here. And then for them to make a video of Barack Obama calling Donald Trump a dipshit, that's just a slight right there. That is not even a subtle slight. You can tell that they specifically used Obama and called Trump a dipshit just to get at him right there in plain sight. So both, you could say, a hidden message and a not hidden message. But anyway, more fake videos being talked about. So of course we're waiting for evidence to come out about various people, various names I could drop here, and some very gross, deep, dark things that I'm sure they've done. Next article, universetoday.com. Could we detect an ancient industrial civilization in the geological record? And they are taking the idea serious of a industrial civilization in ancient history, like millions of years ago. And they're asking the question, could we even detect it if it was that long ago? And it's funny. They're even discussing the SETI, which is the mainstream kind of smoke and mirrors BS version. It's the Center for or Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, that group of scientists. And they're talking about the Drake equation and ancient civilization. So wow, they're really getting these ideas into the collective consciousness, seeding, soft disclosure. And, in regards to civilizations millions of years ago, I mean, it's kind of childish for them to think it would be an industrial civilization, like one that would use fossil fuels and factories and all of the, let's be real, primitive technology that we're still dealing with. Still got to gas up our cars and pay for electricity that comes from oil plants. That it wouldn't be an advanced civilization. So for them to say, for them to look for that kind of evidence, that's not what we'd be looking for. We'd be looking for much more advanced stuff. I mean, we already have that right in front of our faces in the pyramids all over the world, not just at Giza, and various technologies such as Coral Castle you can look into that can alter stone, that can alter matter like that. So the types of civilizations we should be looking for would be completely different. And I think if, of course, many scientists took that into account, then a lot more data would present itself to them. They would have clearer vision, a clearer lens to see it with, and of course we'd make a much bigger progress in science. And that doesn't just go for finding out about history, that goes for finding out about anything. When you simply alter your perception, open up your mind to the idea of what's possible, you start seeing how more of the dots connect, more of the puzzle pieces fit, and how more stuff can actually be explained, and much more logically than whatever mainstream science tries to fib, tries to BS, tries to make and conjure up to tell us. So that's pretty it. So that's it for this one, guys. Thank you so much. Let me know how you like this format. I think the audio is going to sound crisp and clean with this Yeti mic, and I think the visuals will too. I got some decent lighting in here. I'm going to work on actually relocating, because this apartment isn't the most conducive for creative video projects. But anyway, lighting's not too bad. Audio is going to sound good. I'm going to see how editing this is going to be, and going back and forth between the articles and the video. And I hope all of you have a wonderful week. Wonderful. It's Tuesday evening here. Wonderful Wednesday. Hump day tomorrow. No hump day for me though. Every day I work. I don't have a middle of the week. So no days are hump days, or every days are hump days. Ha! Just kidding. So take care, guys. That's all for this one. Done.